Hi students, have a nice day. In this video, we are going to learn about ninth physics. The topic name is magnetism and electromagnetism, part 1. Before we enter into the topic, we must learn introduction. Have you ever played with magnets? Do you wonder why it attracts iron? The magnets attracts iron particles due to the influence upon their magnetic field. Magnets are always attractive objects for the humans. In fact, famous scientist Einstein has mentioned that he was always attracted by magnets in his childhood. There are two kinds of magnets that we can see around us. First one is natural magnet and another one is artificial magnet. Natural magnets exist in the nature. In this lesson, we shall study about properties of magnets, magnetic effect of current, electromagnetic induction and applications of electromagnets. Magnets have two poles. One is north pole and another one is south pole. If we join same direction, that means north pole to north pole or south pole to south pole, it will repulse. If we join opposite direction, that means north pole to south pole and south pole to north pole, it will attract easily. Now let's learn about magnetic field lines. A magnetic field line is defined as a curve drawn in the magnetic field in such a way that the tangent to the curve at any point gives the direction of the magnetic field. They start at north pole and ends at the south pole. The arrow mark indicates the direction of magnetic field. Next we move to magnetic flux. Magnetic flux is the number of magnetic field lines passing through the given area. It is denoted by symbol and its unit is Weber. The number of magnetic field lines crossing unit area kept normal to the direction of field lines is called magnetic flux density. Its SI unit is Weber per meter square. Next one, properties of magnetic lines of force. Magnetic lines of force are closed continuous curves extending through the body of the magnet. And second one, magnetic lines of force start from the north pole and end at the south pole. Third one, magnetic lines of force never intersect. And fourth one, they will be maximum at the poles than the equator. Now let's learn about magnetic effect of current. It was on 21st April 1820, Hans Christian Ørsted, a Danish physicist, was giving a lecture. He was demonstrating electric circuit in that class. He had to often switch on and off the circuit during the lecture. Accidentally, he noticed the needle of the magnetic compass that was on the table. It deflected whenever he switched on and the current was flowing through the wire. The compass needle moved only slightly so that the audience did not even notice. But Ørsted aligned a wire XY such that they were exactly along the north to south direction. When the circuit was open and no current was flowing through it, the needle of both the compass was pointing to north. Once the circuit was closed and electric current was flowing, the needle at a point moving east and west direction. This showed that the current carrying conductor produces magnetic field around it. The strength of the magnetic field at a point due to current carrying wire depends on the current in the wire, distance of the point from the wire, the orientation of the point from the wire, and the magnetic nature of the medium. Lorentz magnetic force. H.A. Lorentz found that a charge moving in a magnetic field in a direction other than the direction of magnetic field experiences a force. It is called the magnetic Lorentz force. And thread a wire perpendicular through it. Connect the wire such that current flows up the wire. Switch on the circuit, let the current flow. Place a magnetic compass on the cardboard, the marked position. Now move magnet, mark the new position. If you join all the points, you will find the circle. Reverse the direction of the current, you will find the magnetic circle or clockwise. Now let's learn about Fleming's left hand rule. Arrange the thumb, forefinger and middle finger of your left hand mutually perpendicular to each other. If the forefinger indicate the direction of magnetic field and the middle finger indicate the direction of current and the thumb indicate the direction of force on the conductor. Next one, magnitude and direction of force. The magnitude and direction of force on a current carrying conductor depends on the current I, intensity of magnetic field B and length L. If a current I is flowing through a conductor of length L kept perpendicular to the magnetic field B, then the force F experienced by is given by the equation F is equal to I into L into B, or F is equal to I into B into L. The above equation indicates that the force is proportional to current through the conductor, length of the conductor and the magnetic field in which the current carrying conductor is kept. Our next topic is force on parallel current carrying conductors. We place another conductor carrying current parallel to the first one. The second conductor will experience a force due to the magnetic field of the first conductor. Using Fleming's left hand rule, we can find that the direction of the force on each wire would be towards each other when the current in both of them are flowing in the same direction. That is, the wires would experience an attractive force. However, if the direction of the flow of current is in opposite direction, then the force on each of the wire will be in opposite direction. Now let's learn about electric motor. An electric motor is a device which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. An electric motor consists of a rectangular coil of insulated copper wire. The coil is placed between the two poles of magnetic field. Now look at the current carrying conductor segment AB. The direction of the current is towards B, whereas in the conductor segment CD, the direction is opposite. As the current is flowing in opposite direction in the segment AB and CD, the direction of the motion of segment would be in opposite direction according to Fleming's left hand rule. When two ends of the coil experience force in opposite direction, they rotate. If the current flow is along the line ABCD, then the coil will rotate in clockwise direction first and then in anti-clockwise direction. If we want to make the coil rotate in any direction, say clockwise, then the direction of the current should be along ABCD in first half of the rotation and along DCBA in the second half of the rotation. To change the direction of current, a small device called split ring commutator is used. The speed of rotation of coil can be increased by increasing the strength of current in the coil, and second one, increasing the number of turns in the coil, and third one, increasing the area of the coil and increasing the strength of magnetic field.